Have you ever wondered how a simple idea somehow explodes and becomes an icon? Well, in this explainer, we are unlocking that entire blueprint. We're going to walk through everything, from the core strategy all the way to launching and protecting a brand that can really, truly last.
Okay, so let's just dive right in. At its heart, a brand isn't really your logo or your colors or even your product. It's something much deeper. It's a feeling. It's the perception that people have about you. It's that little piece of real estate you occupy inside their mind.
So you might be thinking, a mental construct, really? Why should I care? Well, you should care because that feeling, that perception is what directly influences whether people pick you over someone else, whether they trust what you have to say, or if they feel like they belong in your community. It's what turns a simple transaction into a real relationship.
All right, first things first, we have to lay the foundation. This is all about defining your brand's DNA. This isn't just about what you do, but where you fit in the grand scheme of things.
So the very first thing you have to do is establish your brand's identity. Think of it as its core personality. What does it stand for? Getting this part crystal clear is going to guide every single decision you make from here on out. It makes sure everything feels authentic and connected.
I love this analogy. Brand positioning is just like a horse race. It's not just about being the fastest. It's about finding the perfect spot on the track, right next to everyone else, where you have the clearest path to the finish line. The whole goal is to carve out a unique space where you become the obvious choice for your people.
And to really sharpen that competitive edge, you have to look beyond just your direct competitors. I mean, sure, you need to know about the other coffee shop down the street, but the real game-changing insight, that comes from understanding the indirect competition, like the choice to just make coffee at home. That's where you find the secrets to truly standing out.
Okay, so your strategy is clear. You know who you are and where you fit. Now it's time to make this thing official. This is the part where we turn your brand from just an idea into a real, legal, and financially sound operation.
So you're going to have to choose a legal structure. A lot of brands start out super simple, maybe as a sole proprietorship, where you are the business. But as you grow and the risks get a little higher, you might evolve into something like an LLC to protect your personal assets. And what about the money to get this off the ground? Well, to fund your launch, you're usually looking at one of two main paths. Are you going to take on debt, which means you have to pay it back, or are you going to go for equity, which means giving up a small piece of ownership in your brand in exchange for that growth capital?
Now, for the fun part. It's time to actually build the places where your brand is going to live online. The big goal here is to make sure every single touch point, from your website to your social media, feels totally consistent and connected to that core DNA we talked about.
And how do you stay consistent? With this, every single brand needs a style guide, what some people call a brand Bible. This is your central rulebook. It makes sure that anyone, and I mean anyone, who works on your brand, whether it's today or 5 years from now, keeps it looking and sounding exactly like it should.
Okay, here is a distinction that trips up a lot of brands: the difference between voice and tone. Think of it like this. Your voice is your fixed personality. It's always friendly or witty or professional. Your tone, on the other hand, is your mood. It adapts. So a brand can have a friendly voice but use a really serious and empathetic tone when they're handling a customer service problem. See the difference?
So, you've defined your brand, you've built its beautiful home online, but the house is empty. How do you get people to actually show up? That brings us to the all-important step, reaching your audience. So many people fall for this trap. They believe that famous line, "If you build it, he will come." They think if they just create a great website or an amazing product, people will magically appear. But let me tell you, on the internet, that is the biggest myth there is. Building it is just step one.
Which, of course, brings us to the multi-million-dollar question, right? In a super crowded online world, how do you actually drive traffic and help people discover that your amazing brand even exists?
Well, one of the most powerful ways is through content. Check out this case study of the Gang podcast. It started as just a show, right? But it built this incredible, loyal community. That community started buying t-shirts, and that t-shirt money funded a full-blown clothing label, which is now sold in huge retail stores. The content created the audience, and the audience literally built the business.
And hey, what about good old-fashioned email marketing? You can't sleep on this. Studies show it can generate an absolutely incredible return on investment. We're talking as high as $38 for every single dollar you spend. It's your most direct line to your biggest fans, period.
Now, when it comes to social media, please never, ever forget the first word, social. Your goal is not to be that guy at the party who corners you and tries to sell you insurance. No way. Your goal is to engage, to connect, and to provide real value. You do that, and the business will follow naturally.
All right, final step. You've got some momentum building, things are starting to click. Now you have to prepare for growth. And you have to protect the valuable thing you've worked so hard to create. Before you just hit the gas and try to scale up, it is so smart to conduct a brand audit. Think of it like a deep, internal checkup for your brand. It helps you understand what's working, what's not, and where the real opportunities are. It basically gives you a clear roadmap for what to do next.
And look, protecting your brand is absolutely vital. This isn't the sexy part, but it's crucial. It means using the right legal tools like trademarks for your name and logo to defend yourself against copycats and make sure that the unique identity you've built stays yours and yours alone. And what if a crisis hits? And believe me, it can happen to anyone. These are the essential steps. The common theme here is speed, honesty, and transparency. You have to take control of the story, show a clear plan to make things right, and that is how you begin to rebuild trust.
So we'll leave you with this one final thought. Building a brand is not a launch party. It's not a one-time event. It is an ongoing journey. It's a relationship that you have to nurture day in and day out by listening, by evolving, and by always delivering on the promise that you made from day one.